If we just start on Saturday's game, have you had time to look at it, and what have you spoken to the players about since the match going forward?
No, listen, we analyse the game like we do every game. I still feel that we should have had something from the game, especially second half. First half we didn't make a good start, but I didn't overthink it either, because the players have been absolutely fantastic for me this season. The consistency and the level that we've shown over many months has been at a really high level, and we didn't make a good start in the game, which is always something that you want to do. We didn't quite do it. Disappointing first half, made a great reaction second half, should have had an equaliser which could have given us momentum even to go on and win the game. So, but it didn't happen, and we just have to move on from that and look to our next game now.
Just on the goal that didn't stand, have you spoken to Willie Collum at all this morning? Have you spoken to anyone about seeing the footage, why the decision was overturned?
No, I don't think there's any more footage on it. I think the club go through the process. You know, we don't make statements and do all sorts of things. We just go through the procedure and the process, which is the club to speak to the SFA and just get a feeling of what they think. Obviously, we haven't had anything back yet. My feeling is still the same, having watching it and seeing the various images, and there are a couple of images that you see where the illusion is that it's out, but then there's others that will look it's clearly in. And I seen one image of one right on the actual goal line, which was an incredible shot, really. So. And that looked in. So it's more the process, really. I think I was disappointed for the guys in the game, you know, Steve and the referee and the linesman, because they actually got it correct in the game, and I didn't feel that then they should have been overruled on that without a definitive answer, which is what I said at the time.
Do you think that it's something that Scottish football should be looking to implement, Brendan? Is that at the top of the to-do list? Should we be getting goal line technology, cameras along the line, so we get these decisions right in the future, or are there more pressing concerns, you think?
Well, listen, it's all about what you can afford. I suppose within the league there may be other priorities. Certainly, if within the game, if it's something that the game can afford, then to be able to do, then of course, then you wouldn't have scenarios. You would have scenarios, but you would have the clarity that you would get with the goal line technology.
And obviously big news across the country, Rangers manager obviously departing. What's your thoughts on that? I know it's another manager in Scotland going, I guess. How do you see it?
Well, like it is for any manager, I'm always disappointed when a manager loses his job, and obviously Philippe been in there for the period of time that he has. Disappointed for him as a coach. I think we all know the conditions up here. You have to be winning and show that consistency to win. But always sad when another manager loses his job. Philippe has shown previous to coming into Rangers that he's a very good manager. You know, he's won titles. He's not just a good coach; he's a winning coach, and has won. So, but like I say, we know the conditions up here. There's relentless pressure on you to win at Celtic and Rangers. Expectation is there, and that doesn't stop on a daily basis. So you have to then come out and be a consistent winner.
It's obviously a symbiotic relationship. We talk about pressure in Glasgow. When one's up, the other one isn't up, and that's the way it is, isn't it? But is it a kind of measure of the consistency and high level you guys have shown over this period that pressure has gone to us against it?
Well, yeah, and I think it's also how we've dealt with the pressure. I think that was that's been key to it. I think we didn't get off to the best of starts. Last season when I came in, certainly in terms of consistency and performance level. I think when Philippe came in, obviously they had that bounce and had a really good run. But then once we started to find our feet and get our rhythm, and then I think how we dealt with pressure, we dealt with it really, really well. And from that moment, we've we've continued to sort of grow and improve. So it's a great credit to the players and how they've coped with that, and how they've consistently performed.
You came up against Philippe and his teams on a number of occasions during his time here. How did you find him? Did you have much interaction with him? Do you have much interaction with your other Old Firm manager?
You don't really know that. That's the honest answer. I think that you actually play enough times. You come up against each other quite a lot, of course, but in terms of the interaction isn't so much. But like I say, I've seen his work outside of Rangers as well, and you only need to look at that in his CV to show that Rangers employed a very good manager, and that's what they felt at the time, and that's why they gave him the job.
In terms of you guys, obviously, 11 games to go in the league. Is it a case of focusing on your own? You have done all season, I guess, but I mean, obviously we see events elsewhere taking kind of headlines and all that stuff. But is it just going a bit business as usual and keep the head down to the finishing line?
Yeah. I think it's the professionalism and the focus, which is very important. We obviously need to bounce back from the weekend, but the weekend was another opportunity for us to show that you're not quite on it, and then teams can hurt you. So, but it's also a great measure of how focused and professional the team have been. That we've had very few slip-ups over the course of the season. So, but we did it the weekend. We're hungry to respond now tomorrow evening, and like you say, it's at this time of the season where you really got to narrow in your focus into your performance, into your recovery, into your preparation, and just focus on the next game.
How's the squad for tomorrow?
Same as the weekend. They're all in a good place. James he's still a bit away from joining the squad, but he's out on the field. But same squad.
How's Paolo looking? From the ankle, is it still another 3-4 weeks, Brendan?
Yeah, it'd still be a wee bit of time away. We give him a little bit of time off. He's obviously back in now, so yeah, he's still a bit of time away.
What do you expect from tomorrow night's game?
Expect a tough game. Celtic Aberdeen they're always good games. We've obviously played well in them this season. Jimmy's team got off to a brilliant start, and then the highs and lows of football for a difficult period. But he's been able to look and see, because obviously again that early 5-6 months in the building, he'll be looking at the internal culture of the club and the training ground and how that looks, and then he's been able to freshen that up in January and bring in his sort of profile of players that can make his system maybe work even better. So they've picked up in the last few games. So I expect a really tough game, and that's what we've prepared for.
The home league game against Aberdeen is the only goals at Parkhead you've conceded in the league all season. That's a record we must take a lot of pride in.
Yes, yeah. I think pressing for me is everything. That's the start point, and that's where everything else comes from. That. So our ability to press the game from the top of the field is key in our work, and that defensive record is a great credit to the team. People will look at the back four and goalkeeper naturally, of course, because they are those last points of our defence as such. But our pressing and defensive mentality, that is the foundation for us to play the football that we want to play. And obviously at home on that day we conceded two disappointing goals, but other than that I can't really complain.